Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with today's Timeless Tarot for August the 14th of 2025. But this is a Timeless Tarot, so whenever it finds you is exactly when you were meant to find it. We will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Feminine, 8 cards from the Divine Masculine, in accordance with the 8 human chakras so that we can better understand exactly how to best manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. And I grabbed the wrong deck. That is the first time that's happened. We do the Divine Feminine first, and then we do the Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminine is going to tell us what the current situation is, the current energies, and then the Divine Masculine lets us know what steps that we can take. We will begin pulling with the base, and in the base we have the 8 of Pentacles. In the sacral we have the 8 of Wands. And in the solar plexus we have Strength in reverse. In the heart, we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. In the throat, we have the World. In the third eye, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. And in the crown, we have the 4 of Pentacles. And then rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords. Next, we will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Masculine in order to best understand how to manifest our highest timeline. And I've already got one shuffle on it, but I did a pre-shuffle, but I like to do a couple more just to make sure everything's where it needs to be. And we will begin pulling with the crown. In the crown, we have the Star in reverse. In the third eye, we have the Empress in reverse. In the throat, we have the 3 of Wands. In the heart, we have the 10 of Swords in reverse. In the solar plexus, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. In the sacral, we have the Devil. In the base, we have the Page of Cups. And rounding out our message from the Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Justice card. Alright, let's dive in and see what the cards are telling us today. We begin in the base because it is base existence. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have provision? Do you have money? All of those are part of the base path. It is also the area that deals with love and wrath. So giving away a little bit too much affection, not getting the affection you feel like you deserve, neither one is intrinsically good. Today you are looking at a brand new path. This is the 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles are body. It is the exact same as the base. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? Pentacles is about provision. And so this is an 8. 8s are about realizing the higher path. This is you realizing that there is a higher path of financial attainment. Maybe you've been working a job for a while and now you're up for a promotion. That's a new path presenting itself to you. It's not you making the decision about the path. It is just realizing that the path is there. And so there is a realization that needs to happen that there is a better path that you can walk financially. Clarifying that with the steps that can be taken from the Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminine tells us the current energies. The Divine Masculine lets us know what we can do. You've got the Page of Cups. Now, cups are body-spirit. Pentacles are body-body. This is body-spirit. It is about emotions. It is familial connections. It is spousal connections. It is co-worker connections. And it is your friendships, but it is not the people. It is the emotions behind the people. It is water and it is feeling, right? This is a page, and a page is going to be about understanding, right? You have just learn some new things and you have to understand them before you get to rising to meet the challenge of a knight. This is an understanding about an emotional situation. Now, he is staring into his cup. He is not moving anywhere. He is not attacking anything. He is just trying to understand this emotion that is attached to this situation. And so what seems to be holding you back from realizing that there is this opportunity for greater financial gain is that there is an understanding about an emotion that you need to have. That can be an emotion of being not ready to be promoted, right? You may feel a little bit trepidatious that somebody wants to put you into a position of authority. That can be a little bit overwhelming. You need to come to an understanding about the emotion. You may be, once you get the promotion, then you may feel sadness because you can no longer associate with the coworkers that you once worked with in the same way. You need to come to an understanding so that you can realize the opportunity. But there is an emotional understanding that you need to strike in your base provision, right? This is something attached to your provision, but it is an understanding about an emotion. Next, we're going to move to the area of physical generation. This is what you are trying to create in the world is on the left-hand side. You envision your future with the third eye. You invest the energy into the divine from the heart, and you take positive steps in the right direction with your sacral. It's also the area that deals with sexual energy, so it is lust and chastity, giving away too much physical affection, not receiving any physical affection. Neither one is intrinsically good. You today are being faced with the opportunity, right? This is the realization of an opportunity. This is the second 8 in the provisionary side of things, right? This is the mortal coil. This is the spiritual coil. This is attached. Now, this area is what you are trying to create in your life, what you want, right? If you envision a business here, you take the steps here. You write the business plan. You secure the funding. You start looking for the building, right? Physical steps in the right direction, making manifestation happen. This is you realizing a new path. It is an 8, but this is wands. Now, wands are spirit. It is fire. It is life, light, logos. It is change, and it is intuition. So there may be some change that you need to realize in your life that can absolutely be linked to this new opportunity that you are to get the emotional understanding about. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but these 3 bottom slots do feed together, and there is probably some energy there. This is a sudden, rapid change coming into your life, not like a tower or the Wheel of Fortune, but all of these wands of change have been thrown, right? And they're all on the downward trajectory. They are moving towards the earth as opposed to away from it. This is the earth down here. They are getting close to their target. There's one that is lagging behind, but they're all going to get there relatively soon. This is forward movement in a positive manner, right? And this is what you were being told again, right? There is some opportunity that is presenting itself to you. This is the realization of a brand new path. This is the reinvestment of the previous gains, right? 8 through 14 is the reinvestment of the previous gains. And so this is the previous gains of intuition or change. And so this is you realizing that there is change that is possible. This is you realizing that there is a path to make more money. Not necessarily making a decision about them, right? They are 8s, they are not 9s. But definitely the realization that there is a path. Now, clarifying with some steps that can be taken, you've got the Devil card. The Devil card is about overcoming temptations. It can be viewed as seeing the temptations and succumbing to them, but that is not the energy that I give to this card. You have the Devil, right? He is seated there, and he has these 2 people chained to him. They did not make the appropriate choices. This is letting you know that you need to make appropriate choices. Now, this is going to be a 15 card, which is the realization of the highest path, the path of cups, the path of emotional fulfillment, emotional understanding. You really get to manifest once you understand emotions. And so this is you resisting temptation in the process of this change, right? These are linked together. This is the current situation. You are realizing that change is possible. Or there is an intuitive leap that you are making, right? That is another one of these things. And this is you resisting temptation along the way. That can be all kinds of temptation, right? It is in the sexual energy. It might be related to sexuality. It's not necessarily. It is in the business area too. And so this can be not being prideful. You would probably see that over here, but this is the area of business. These 2 8s being presented like this really does make me think that you are being presented with an opportunity that you are just simply not seeing, and that you need to resist the temptation for some emotional problem. Next, we're going to go to the solar plexus, and the solar plexus is quite literally what turns your food into fuel. It is your stomach, right? It is dealing with gluttony and temperance. So if you are over consuming the things of the mortal coil, if you are under consuming the things of the mortal coil, neither one are intrinsically good. You've got strength in reverse. Now, strength is, when it is standing tall, this is another one of the resist temptation cards, right? Now, this is not quite the same energy as the resist temptation here, but this is an 8, right? What is an 8? The realization of a new path. How does this realization of a new path come by? By being a little bit less strong. Now, this resistance of temptation can be the vices or the virtues, right? You can be tempted either way. Like I say, sexual abstinence is highly overrated. So if you are being completely chaste, then that is not resisting the temptation for the virtue, right? You are meant to have a balanced life. You are meant to have sexual intercourse with a limited number of people. That would be the proper way to resist the temptation of chastity and lust. There are other associations, right? Love and wrath, and you've got temperance and gluttony. This is backing off a little bit. And so this can be that you are partaking a little bit too much of either the virtues or the vices. When it is standing tall, this is telling you to, the realization that you are having is that you need to resist these things. This is the clarifier for this, right? The 8 of Pentacles is the beginning of the higher path of Pentacles. And this is the clarifier that is attached to it by the path of the tarot that we talk about. Actually, no, it's not. I am wrong. Right? It is actually swords. That's the second path. So I'm wrong. It's the 8 of Swords clarifier. Just disregard that. Sometimes I do make mistakes. She has the infinity symbol over her head signifying all of the possibilities, but she is holding this mouth shut. She is not prying the lion's mouth open. She is holding it shut. And that's a little bit hard to make out, but that's what's happening here, right? This is the resistance of the temptation of overconsumption in the consumption spot. But you have it in the reverse, which may indicate that you need to back out of the strength a little bit. This is you resisting the temptations. This is you giving in a little bit. And if you have and you're active right here that you need to understand the temptations and make the appropriate choices, which is what the devil is, then this can indicate that maybe you're being too rigid and you need to back out. And we have seen that as a repeated theme. So, clarifying with some steps that can be taken from the Divine Masculine, we have the Page of Swords. Now, this is a more active page than it is the Page of Cups, but he's still not walking, right? He is standing in a defensive position. He has his sword raised in the guard. He is ready to protect himself. He is fully capable. This is a swords card, and swords are about soul, and it is a thought, intellect, and communication. So this can indicate a communication or a thought or something along those lines. Something that you need to give thought to, maybe. You have this in the reverse. Now, pages are about understanding, so when it is upright, it is you are understanding this thought. You are understanding this communication. This is less of that understanding. This is you currently, right? The current situation is that, here's another way to read it, and this is probably more correct. Your current situation is that you are not resisting the temptations, right? Not that you need to not, but that you are not resisting the temptations. That would be a misunderstanding of a thought, right? Not understanding the temptation is the misunderstanding of a thought. So this can very well be that you are not being strong in your resistance, bringing about the change. That's probably going to be the better explanation for that, as a matter of fact. Just considering how often we have had this come up. Next, we're going to go to the heart, and the heart is quite literally the part that makes manifestation happen. It is associated with greed and charity. Greed is part of the lower coil, these 6 cards on the bottom. It is loving things a little bit too much. Charity is associated with the spiritual coil, the 6 cards on the top. It is loving things a little bit too little, and you are supposed to strike the balance between them. you have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Now, the Knight of Cups, like the page, is about an emotion, right? Cups are about emotions. This is about rising to meet a challenge. This is the greater path. Like 5 is the lesser path. This is for the greater path of the emotional understanding. This is the next step past the page. This is the current situation of what you are trying to manifest in your life. Is this rising to the challenge of the emotion? And you're not doing it. Now, this can indicate that you are not to do it, but it is not in the active slot. This is in the current situation. And much like this strength was you are not resisting the temptation, this is you are not having the understanding, right? If you don't have the understanding, you can't rise to the challenge. If you don't have the information, you can't have the understanding. And so there's a whole chain of events that needs to take place. This is you are not currently rising to the challenge, or this is that you need the understanding so that you can rise to the challenge. When he is standing tall, right, we'll go ahead and do that too. When he is standing tall, he's on his white horse of victory. He is fully armored and able to take care of himself. But he has this cup that he is staring in. They are making forward progress, but the horse is walking. He is not running. They are moving into the future and not the past. This is not reminiscence and regrets. This is like rising to the challenge of an emotional situation. And you are just simply not doing so. Next, clarifying, we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. And again, this is a thought or an idea. This is the step right before this. This is learning. Tens are about learning. This is commonly attributed as the backstabbing card, right? He has been stabbed in the back 10 times. That is a sense of betrayal. There may be a sense of betrayal attached. But this is about learning some things. And so this can be learning about some associations where you have been stabbed in the back, right? If it was upright, that is even a possibility. But it is in the reverse, which is the opposite energy. If this is a betrayal, then this is a not, right? If this is you being stabbed in the back, this is not. This is about a thought or an idea. It is about the higher path, and it is about learning that higher path. This card leads to this card, which leads to this card. And so there's probably a link there. If this is an idea or a communication where you feel a sense of betrayal, but it's not actually there, this would be that it is probably actually there. And so this is you need to rise to the challenge, and you're going to do so by learning something about an idea, right? This is not necessarily related to someone else because it is in the reverse, which does indicate that it may not be a betrayal. And so it is not intrinsically linked to other people in any way. So it does appear that there is something to learn about a thought or an idea that leads to some understanding, so that you can rise to meet the challenge by avoiding the temptation. Next, we're going to go to the throat. This is the area of communication. It deals with pride and humility. So taking too much credit for your work, not taking enough credit for your work. Neither one is intrinsically good. You've got the World. This is the card, right? This is the culmination of the tarot. This is the number 21 of the Arcanum. This is the end. This is the final harvest. All of the good things. This is the current situation in communication. Now, this area deals with communication quite explicitly. And it does have something to do with consumption because you do eat through your mouth. It goes through your throat into the solar plexus. That's why these are linked. In another spot, right? If this was the hopes, dreams, and aspirations, that is you envisioning the world. If that is in the area of physical location, that is you receiving the world, you manifesting the world. This is you about a communication, or possibly a temptation, but a lot less of that energy here. And so this one's a little bit confusing, right? This is the fullness, this is the harvest, but it is about a communication. Now, clarifying that, we have the Three of Wands, and that is a spirit of isolation, but it is also learning, right? This is a pre-iteration of the 10. Yeah, the 2 and the 3 and the 10 are the same on a higher and lower level, like the 2 and the 9, or the 4 and the page. It is a higher iteration of the lesson. What is happening here is he has his wands of change. He is enacting change in his life. He has made a decision, right? The ace is, hey, look, there's a path. The 2 is, I'm going to make a choice about the path, either to get on it or to not. Either one is valid. This is learning about the things once you have been on that path. This is a spirit of isolation because he is by himself. 2 of the 3s are a spirit of cooperation. 2 of them are a spirit of isolation. And so this is you in the communication spot, isolated about change, learning about change, something along those lines. These are linked on the right-hand path, and you have the strength in the world. Those are good things to have show up. Now, you do have this in the reverse, but that's already been talked about. This one's a really hard one to tell because this is the area of communication, right? This isn't the fruits, right? This is the current situation is literally the world. So are you talking to the entire world? I mean, I am here. It might be linked to me, but are you doing that? Are you talking to a lot of people about a certain subject, but kind of holding yourself back, right? And kind of being in a position of authority, even realizing this new path. There is something about communication, and it is not like, it's really weird that the world and this spirit of isolation, right? This learning about the new path. There's something there. Maybe we'll get some more clarification, but I really don't know how to do anything more with that. Next, we're going to go to the third eye. This is your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, what you want to create into your life. You envision it here. You feed your energy through your heart into the divine, and you take positive steps through the sacral. This is the area that deals with sloth and diligence, so working hard towards your goals or just expecting them to pop up. They will not just work out by themselves. You have the Knight of Wands, which is the rise to the challenge of the change. And again, you have the Knight in reverse. This is you not currently rising to the challenge. Again, right? You have that here with an emotional challenge. You have it here with a change challenge. And so there is definitely some change that you are realizing in your life. There is the want for rising to this challenge, but you're not doing it. It does appear that there is some more understanding that needs to happen. And that is clarified by the Empress in reverse. Now, this is a 3 card, right? You got a 3 card here on the opposite side of the spiritual path. They're in opposite orientation, so they may or may not be connected. They are not the same card, but this is a 3, and that is a 3, and they both talk about learning. Now, this is learning associated with the world. This is learning associated with the change. This is in the reverse, so it may indicate that you really don't have anything else to learn about the change, right? If you still had something to learn, it would be here. But if you don't understand it and you have the learning, that would be in the reverse. When she is standing upright, this is the divine feminine as immature, right? Not in her maturity. And so this is a little bit jealous. This is a little bit too worried about looks. This is a little bit gossipy, those type of energies right now. That is not to be, overly sexual. Those are just the generalizations. The divine feminine as immature, the teenage girl. Well, that's when she is standing tall. That's what she represents. Now, in the reverse, that can indicate a little bit of maturity. Not necessarily, but a little bit. If it was for the divine feminine in her maturity, you would have got a queen here. But you've got something that you need to learn in order to rise to meet the situation, or that you already have the knowledge you don't need to learn, that you have this maturity, and so you are ready to meet the challenge and you don't realize it. This again indicates that there is something left to learn, or that you have the learning because it is in the reverse. That is less of the energy that I normally get, but You should always be learning. You should always be getting a better understanding of things. But in order to rise to this challenge, you have to do what was on this card. Right now, this challenge you are not currently rising to. This challenge you are not currently rising to. You need more learning to get more understanding. That appears to be this energy again. There does appear to be something left to learn. Next, we're going to go into the crown, and the crown is where you interpret what the divine tells you, right? You get a message from the divine, you interpret it through your crown, you feel responsible for it. This is the area that deals with hope and despair, so if everything is going great and you are choosing depression, this is where you need to balance. If everything is going terrible and you are finding the silver lining, this is the area of balance. You've got the Four of Pentacles. This is about a provisionary path. Pentacles are about provision. Fours are about understanding. This is another page, right? This is Pentacles. You've got a Page of Cups and a Page of Swords. This is the lesser equivalent of a Page of Pentacles. And so there is some understanding here that you need to come to, right? This is what you feel responsible for the divine telling you. We've already seen that there is some more to learn in order to reach that understanding. Some people interpret this as being stingy. You can see that he is sitting there holding tightly to that center pentacle, but he's got two more down at his feet and he's got one at his head. This is his knowledge. These two at his feet are the path that he is upon, and this in the middle is him reaching the understanding. It can be looked upon as stingy. If it was in the area of greed, then we would be talking about that. But this isn't, right? This is you coming to an understanding about the earthly path. Now, this is the central trunk is linked, and you have the presentation of an earthly path, and you feel responsible for understanding that. Now, clarifying that with some actions that can be taken, we've got the Star in reverse. Now, the Star is about hopes, dreams, and aspirations. This is you realizing the things that you want, all of the good things manifesting in your life. It is a card of balance, right? We have the Sun surrounded by 8 or 7 stars, making a total of 8. She has 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the land. She is pouring the waters of life equally on the waters in the land. She is naked on the card. You can't really tell because I had to color it in, but that generally indicates that you need to look beyond the normal understanding of things. You have this in the reverse, which can mean take it at face value. This is manifesting all of the good things. Now this is, what is that? It is a 17? 10, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 17, which means that it is another learning card. Right, this is going to be the equivalent of the highest 3, the 3 of Cups. And so, once again, there is something that you need to learn. This one is in reverse, and so you may have the information and you are not using it correctly. This is a card of balance. This indicates an imbalance, right? There may be some imbalance preventing you from this understanding. Or there may be a balance that you need to strike in order to reach the understanding. And then finally we get to the divine, and this is a direct message from the divine. It is not colored by any of the virtues and vices. The divine has all of the virtues and vices in perfect balance. You've got the presentation of a new path. You can't even make it up, right? You've got an 8, and a 1, which is an 8 on a lesser level. Right? This is the beginning of the first path of a thought. This is realizing, oh wait, I've got a thought. Oh wait, it might even be a good one. Let me see about making a decision about that, right? That's the next step. This step is just realizing that it is there. This is divine providence handing you an idea. Now, this can be a communication as well. This can be a brand new communication bringing you the world. I don't know, but there is something being presented to you from the divine related to swords. So that is soul, that is thought, intellect, communication, and air. And so it does appear that there is a thought being presented to you. Now, clarifying that with some steps that can be taken is equal application of the law. This is the Justice card, and justice is about the equal application of the law. Everybody is equal. Nobody gets preferential treatment. He has the scales here indicating balance. He has the sword of thought. This is a 11, and 11 is going to be an understanding. can't even make it up, right? We have new path, new path, new path. We have understanding, understanding, understanding. There was another understanding, right? And then we've got to learn, we got to learn, we got to learn. There's a lot of learning and understanding that needs to happen here. You got this presented in the upright, which indicates that it is what you are to do. You need to be balanced in your application of the law. Make sure that you are not playing favorites, that you are not succumbing to possibly a thought that is holding you back. If we take these two cards in consideration of everything else that is on the table, I'm going to try and get this where y'all can see them quite well. What we have here is the presentation of a new thought. This is a brand new opportunity related to a thought or a communication. It can be communication, but that is a little bit less indicated here. It appears that this new thought is going to unlock the ability to understand, right? You will learn something new with the presentation of this new thought that will unlock all of this understanding, which will allow you to rise to meet the challenge. But in order to do so, you have to make sure that you are being fair, equal, and balanced in your application of things. That can be a little bit hard, right? You want to give preferential treatment to something, but make sure that you are balancing yourself appropriately with the virtues and vices. You are meant to partake of the virtues and the vices equally, right? Not to excess with either one, but all of them are meant for you, just like you are meant to have all of your feelings. And so in order to reach this emotional understanding that is going to unlock this new path, you're going to have to let a new thought in. You're going to have to make sure that you are giving proper application, proper consideration, and not playing favorites to something that you already have a preconception about. And that really does seem like the whole message, right? The message over learn something to get an understanding so you can rise to meet the challenge of this newly presented path. That's going to bring us to the end of the reading. Hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow, throw me a comment whether you agree or disagree. Put it in the box down below, and if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt's Take. Peace.